What if I told you there's a pet so expensive that even Elon Musk would think twice before buying it? We're talking about animals that cost more than luxury mansions, private jets, and sometimes entire small countries' GDP combined. But the most mind-blowing fact isn't their price tags. It's that some of these creatures are so rare, they're practically extinct, making their owners part of the most exclusive clubs on Earth. Ready to discover which pets make billionaires' wallets cry, and why some animals are literally worth more than gold? Tibetan Mastiff, 2 million. Picture this, a dog so expensive it costs more than most people's houses, and you're looking at the legendary Tibetan Mastiff. These massive guardians from the Himalayas aren't just pets, they're living fortresses with price tags that make luxury cars look like pocket change. The most expensive Tibetan Mastiff ever sold went for a jaw-dropping 2 million in China, making it more valuable than a Ferrari collection. But what makes these furry giants worth more than a penthouse? These ancient protectors were bred by Tibetan monks to guard monasteries against snow leopards and wolves, developing an unshakable loyalty that's literally priceless. Standing up to 33 inches tall and weighing up to 160 pounds, they're basically bears wearing dog costumes. Their thick, lion-like manes require daily grooming that costs more than most people's monthly salary. Chinese billionaires treat these dogs like four-legged status symbols, often gifting them gold jewelry and hiring personal chefs. The breeding process is so exclusive that waiting lists stretch for years, and that's assuming you can even afford the down payment. But here's the kicker. Owning one means your monthly food bill alone could fund a small vacation. Pharaoh Hound, 7,500. Step back in time 5,000 years and meet the Pharaoh Hound, a living piece of Egyptian history that makes archaeologists weep with joy. These elegant hunters aren't just expensive, they're literally walking museum pieces with price tags starting at 7,500. What's mind-blowing is that these dogs look identical to the canines painted on ancient Egyptian tombs, as if they time-traveled straight from King Tut's palace. But the real mystery isn't their ancient origins. It's their supernatural ability to blush when excited, their ears and nose turning bright pink like they're embarrassed about their royal bloodline. Originally bred to hunt gazelles in the scorching desert, these athletic marvels can reach speeds of 35 mph, making them faster than most city traffic. Their rarity comes from strict breeding programs that maintain bloodlines purer than royal family trees. Malta adopted them as their national dog, and importing one requires paperwork more complex than buying a small country. The waiting list for puppies often extends beyond 2 years because responsible breeders produce fewer litters than luxury watch manufacturers make timepieces. Owning a Pharaoh Hound means joining an exclusive club smaller than astronauts, and the prestige comes with grooming costs that rival spa treatments. Hyacinth Macaw, 40,000. Imagine owning a flying sapphire that talks back to you. That's the Hyacinth Macaw, nature's most expensive comedian priced at 40,000. These cobalt blue beauties aren't just pets. They're living artwork that makes Picasso paintings look affordable. With wingspans reaching 4 feet, they're basically feathered fighter jets that happen to crack jokes and steal your snacks. But here's what makes them rarer than finding parking in Manhattan. Only about 6,500 exist in the wild, making each bird more precious than diamonds. Their beaks are so powerful they can crack Brazil nuts like we crack knuckles, yet gentle enough to preen their owner's hair without leaving a single scratch. The shocking truth is that these intelligent birds live up to 100 years, meaning you're not buying a pet, you're making a century-long commitment that your grandchildren might inherit. Their diet alone costs more than most people's grocery bills, requiring specialized nuts, fruits, and supplements that make caviar look budget-friendly. Training them requires patience that would make monks jealous, but the payoff is a companion that can learn over 100 words and solve puzzles that stump some humans. The most expensive part isn't buying them, it's building flight enclosures larger than most apartments. Desert Kings, Fennec Fox 3000. Meet the Fennec Fox, nature's answer to stuffed animals that somehow came to life and decided to cost 3,000. These pocket-sized desert royalty pack more personality per pound than any creature on Earth. With ears so oversized, they look like they're permanently wearing satellite dishes. Weighing only 2-3 pounds, they're smaller than most house cats, but louder than construction sites when they want attention. The fascinating part, those enormous ears aren't just for show. Their sophisticated cooling systems that help them survive 120-degree desert heat, making them living examples of evolutionary air conditioning. But owning one means accepting that your sleep schedule now revolves around a nocturnal acrobat who thinks 3 a.m. is prime playtime. These mischievous escape artists can jump 4 feet high and dig tunnels faster than construction crews, turning any home into their personal adventure playground. Their exotic diet requires insects, specialized kibble, and fruits that cost more than gourmet meals, while veterinary care needs specialists rarer than the foxes themselves. The legal complexities of ownership vary by state, with some requiring permits more complicated than adopting children. Most shocking is their 14-year lifespan means you're committing to over a decade of explaining to visitors why your dog looks like it belongs in a Disney movie. Wild Hybrid. Savannah Cat, 25,000. Prepare to meet the Savannah Cat, a 25,000 living contradiction that's part house cat, part African serval, and entirely mesmerizing. These spotted beauties represent what happens when domestic cats decide they want to cosplay as leopards, creating the ultimate designer pet that makes luxury handbags look reasonably priced. Standing up to 17 inches tall with legs longer than most runway models, they move with the grace of wild cats while maintaining enough domestication to mostly use litter boxes. But here's the twist that blows minds. F1 Savannahs, first-generation crosses, are 50% wild serval, making them more exotic than most zoo animals yet legal to own in many states. Their jumping ability is legendary, easily clearing 8-foot fences like they're stepping over puddles, which explains why owners need homes designed like maximum security facilities. The breeding process is so complex that only 5% of attempts result in viable kittens, making each successful birth rarer than winning lottery tickets. These feline athletes require diets consisting of raw meat, specialized supplements, and portion sizes that would bankrupt most pet food budgets. Their intelligence rivals dogs, learning to walk on leashes, play fetch, and open doors with the determination of master escape artists. Most surprisingly, they're intensely loyal, following owners around like spotted shadows while maintaining the independent attitude that screams, "I'm doing you a favor by living here." Forest ghosts. White Lion, 140,000. Enter the realm of the White Lion, a 140,000 living legend so rare that seeing one feels like witnessing magic itself. These aren't albinos, they're genetic miracles carrying a recessive gene rarer than finding honest politicians, creating creatures that look like they stepped out of fantasy novels. With fewer than 100 existing worldwide, each white lion is more precious than entire art collections, making them the holy grail of exotic pet ownership. The mesmerizing truth is that these ethereal cats possess the same hunting prowess as their tawny cousins, but their ghostly appearance makes them stand out like snowflakes in summer, explaining why they rarely survive in the wild. Their mystical white coats require protection from sunburn, meaning owners invest in custom-built enclosures with UV-filtered glass that costs more than most homes. The monthly feeding bill alone reaches $2,000, as these 400-pound predators consume 15 pounds of premium meat daily, making their grocery costs rival small restaurants. But the real shocker isn't their price tag, it's the legal maze surrounding ownership, with permits requiring background checks more thorough than CIA applications. Their lifespan of 18-20 years means committing to 2 decades of explaining to neighbors why your backyard sounds like a nature documentary, while insurance companies treat your property like an active volcano zone. With thunder. Arabian horse, 100,000 plus. Behold the Arabian horse, living poetry in motion priced at over 100,000, where bloodlines are more carefully tracked than royal genealogies. These desert-born aristocrats don't just run, they float across the ground like 4-legged clouds, their distinctive dished faces and arched necks making them instantly recognizable from miles away. But here's what separates them from regular horses. Arabian bloodlines trace back 4,500 years with documentation more detailed than most human family trees, making them the ultimate blue blood investments. The most expensive Arabian ever sold reached 11 million, proving that some horses cost more than private jets while delivering transportation that requires no runway. Their endurance is supernatural, capable of traveling 100 miles in a single day across harsh desert terrain, making them the original all-terrain vehicles before humans invented wheels. Owning one means joining an exclusive club where monthly boarding, training, and veterinary costs exceed luxury car payments, while their specialized Arabian-only feed costs more than most people's entire food budget. The shocking reality is that these horses live 25-30 years, meaning ownership becomes a quarter-century commitment involving more paperwork than buying real estate. Their intelligence borders on telepathic, forming bonds with owners so deep that separation causes both horse and human genuine heartbreak, explaining why Arabian enthusiasts often own multiple horses rather than risk emotional devastation. Thoroughbred racehorse, 16 million. Finally, we reach the pinnacle of expensive pets, the green monkey, a 16 million thoroughbred racehorse that redefined what it means to have expensive taste in animals. This wasn't just any horse purchase. It was an investment that made buying luxury yachts look like impulse shopping, representing the absolute peak of equine value that even billionaires found breathtaking. Named after the famous Green Monkey golf course where its owners first discussed the purchase, this bay colt carried bloodlines more valuable than precious metal deposits, with ancestors including legendary champions whose names are whispered in racing circles like ancient prayers. The astronomical price came from his incredible 2-year-old training times that shattered records faster than his hooves shattered track surfaces, suggesting a racing career that could generate hundreds of millions in prize money and breeding fees. But here's the twist that proves money can't guarantee success. Despite his record-breaking price tag, the Green Monkey's racing career proved disappointing, earning only $10,440 in prize money before retiring to stud duties that, while lucrative, never justified his historic purchase price. His story serves as the ultimate reminder that even 16 million can't buy guaranteed greatness, though it can certainly buy the most expensive lesson in humility ever delivered by a four-legged teacher who probably never understood why humans made such a fuss about numbers on paper.